Here we are again. New parts. Are they good parts? I hate to do this to you, dude, but you know, we're gonna have to tell this story because it's just gut-wrenching terrible.
It's a hard story to tell.
It's a hard story to tell, dude. And we weren't gonna tell it, were we? I mean, I actually came back in, we decided, people don't want to hear that sad news again. Mm-hmm. And then so we let it go. And then this morning, I hear you talking to Jason, and I'm like, no freaking way. So go from that point. Why am I saying no freaking way?
Well, we got another new part from Ford.
So a second new part,
and it is just as bad as the first one.
And of course, it's not the easiest thing to diagnose is that's what's wrong, even to begin with.
Yeah.
And in fact, when you put in a new one, and we're going to tell you what it is, we're keeping this a mystery just for another moment. Well, I guess you know now because we said IPR. So, okay. Injection pressure regulator valve on a 6.4?
6.0.
6.0. And because the high pressure oil system in that thing, it's a nightmare trying to figure out where you have a high pressure leak.
Yeah, it can be challenging.
Yeah, it can be challenging. So that's, I think, what we're going to do here. We're not only going to say, Ford, what the heck? What the freaking heck? Two IPRs, brand spanking new from you, and they're garbage. And we're going to show you how we can tell they're garbage. So let's get the new. You got the new one in there? All disassembled? Yeah. You're going to put some air pressure to it?
Yeah, I got to put some air to it, and I got the old
one.
So
let's start from the beginning. Why did we have a problem? We had a code for high pressure leak?
So we didn't have a code for a high pressure leak, but the truck, once it got to operating temperature, if you would shut it off, it would then crank and not start.
Okay.
It wouldn't restart.
So it was bleeding off.
It's high pressure oil.
Gotcha.
We're only getting 300 PSI.
Okay.
Around there.
And
we need at least 500 to fire the injectors. Yep. So
good. And so you first think, gosh, pull the valve covers off, look at the crossover tubes and all that stuff.
Yeah, so you got manifolds. Well, we can show you what we got because I got it all torn apart here.
You know what?
Explanation of
how about we go out here to one of our cores that's laying on the ground, and there's a 6.0 out there, and we can look at.
Does it have the valve covers off?
Yeah, it does. I think it does. Let's go look. Right there.
Perfect. We can kind of use these two so we can show where the pump goes, but.
Okay.
So here we have a 6.0 Powerstroke, and so these use high pressure oil to fire the injectors. They're not like normal common rails where you do high pressure fuel.
Right.
It's just a little different. So we got your high pressure oil pump here, and then it has a fitting.
And this is all underneath here, and it's driven by, everybody, this gear. So there's a pump that's housed in this thing, and the pump gear bolts right up to that.
And then it feeds this tube, this branch tube, that then goes through the block by the lifters.
And then here's this tube here. You can get a good picture of it. So it pumps up pressure, sucks it out of here, pumps up high oil pressure, the same oil that's in your crankcase, builds that pressure up here, and pushes it out here under high pressure. And you can have a leak. Let's see if we can show that down in there. So look down here, and you'll see that tube. This is the push rods. This is the push rod here, and you can kind of see where that tube goes back behind the push rods and lifters there. It bolts right to there. And then it runs back. Then where does it go to?
Then it comes up through the standpipes to these oil rails.
The standpipes.
Your standpipe is right here.
And that goes down through here. So there's a pipe that runs through here, and there's O-rings on that pipe.
Yep.
Teflon O-rings, right?
Yep.
It then charges the inside of this whole assembly here with oil. And keep going, dude.
And then you got all your fuel injectors. They're out right now, but they mount right in here. And then this rail clicks into the top of the fuel injectors and then delivers the high pressure oil to the fuel injectors. So.
And let's go show them now. You got the injectors in that motor?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, let's go show them the heart. Yeah.
So you can see here, these are the wires that go down to the fuel injector. The fuel injector is sitting right underneath this oil rail.
It's triggered let's be clear about it. It's triggered by an electrical signal, but in order for it to open and the plunger to work, and for it to build, it has to have the oil pressure on the back side of it. Did I get that right?
Yep.
So again, it uses high pressure oil combined with an electrical signal to trigger the injector to fire. And what we had, as I understand it, was run fine, but a hot soak, go to crank it again, and it would long crank time because it wouldn't build enough oil pressure because it's leaking somewhere in that system. That's the whole idea here. Normally, 9 times out of 10, guys, it's the IPR. Okay, so we put an IPR in it, and what happened? A brand new one. We put a brand new one in,
and we still had an issue.
Yeah. And so then Dillon thinks, like any good mechanic would think, I have an internal leak. One of those connections, the standpipes or something, and they blow the O-rings and they'll leak. And what it does is instead of holding that hydraulic pressure in that big rail and all that stuff, it bleeds down through those leak orifices if that's the problem. So he tears it all down, and then what?
Yeah. So I took out my ICP sensor, which is the pressure sensor that sits here in the rail, and then we got an adapter to put shop air to it.
Yeah, that's pretty common, the diagnosis on the 6.0s, but that's, you guys that do them, but customers that don't, that's what we're doing this for. And then we put air pressure on here, and we start to, it's like checking for a tire, you start saying, where am I listening, where's air coming from?
And the other thing too is you can hear air, but it's because my IPR valve doesn't have battery voltage to it. So we got this emulsifier here that we can plug in to the IPR valve, and then it's wired here to this controller, and then just connect it to the battery, and we can kick it on and off.
On, it would not bleed.
Yeah,
Off.
on it seals off the IPR valve, and then off is back to its natural open state.
So can we go ahead and put air pressure here?
Yeah. We hook shop air to it.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
So you can hear some air leaking.
Yeah.
And then when I kick this on, the air goes away.
Yeah, just put your mic down.
So you can hear the air leaking. Right now it's leaking from the back of this high pressure oil pump. Then I turn the IPR valve on, that noise goes away. So
Because it's not allowing the oil flow to go through the valve.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not allowing it to go through.
So that valve is functioning correctly.
Yeah, this IPR valve is functioning correctly.
The brand new one from Ford, 2 of them, didn't do that.
You want to show it?
I think we should.
Yeah,
I think we should put the brand new one back in there, and you'll see what we're talking about. This is what an IPR looks like. This is another thing. If this screen here, if you ever pull an IPR off and it's got metal on that screen, that's a big indication like my high pressure pump is on its way out. But these orifices here allow oil flow to proceed through this valve, and it's either on or off. The reason I wanted to do this video is the 6.0, and this is a bear to diagnose for high pressure oil leaks. I mean, it's a pain in the butt, and I'm hoping this video helps you guys to see kind of how it operates and the quick way to, the mechanic's way, the quick way of finding out, where do I have a high pressure oil leak? Because if you've got one, you want to be able to figure it out quick.
And normally when you go to replace this IPR valve, you don't have to tear it down as far as I got this tore down right now. You have your turbocharger that sits on top of here and your intake, but you can take your fuel injection control module off, which is mounted onto the valve cover on this side, and take the stud off the back of the...
What usually is mounted in his way, is this. And you'll pull that out of there.
You can pull that out of there and then remove the back stud from the intake manifold, and then just make a special socket, an IPR socket, and then you can put a wobble on this and a long extension and get it out to here with the coolant bottle out of the way too, and then you can break it free and then get your hand in there and twist it out. It's just an hour.
A trick. Yeah.
An hour and you can have it changed out.
Yeah.
So.
But the reason we took this down is because after putting a new valve in, we still had you could hear the air leak and you're like, where's it coming from? So we had to tear it down this way to start doing some testing.
Yeah, I could hear the air leaking.
So all of this because of a faulty new part. All of this because of a faulty new part.
I could hear the air leaking, and I had both my valve covers off, but I could tell it sounded like it was coming from up in the center.
Yeah.
So I was thinking it was this fitting off the high pressure oil pump that had gone bad.
Yeah.
And so that's why we tore it down to this point, but then that's when I found it was actually my IPR valve. So we'll put
the second new one.
The second new
because
one.
you went ahead with the first one and said, I must have got a bad IPR. Let me get another one.
Yeah.
Oh, see, this is why I didn't want to do a video on this. This is painful to even think about.
So you can see we got the new Ford IPR valve in right now. We got air leaking, but we don't have a battery voltage on. So I turn my battery voltage on, and you can hear it still
It changed
leaking.
a little bit.
But it changes a little bit, but it doesn't seal off like that other one.
Yeah. Okay, I wish I had more of this video because this is going to come to an end. But my whole point here is this job is sometimes tough, and you need good men like this not to give up, because we see a lot of work that comes in here dragged in from other shops because they gave up. And it's sad that they gave up, and then we find out it was a bad part, a brand new part maybe they replaced, you know. I don't know how we're going to fix this except to just not give up and maybe complain about it a little bit. I don't know how the testing isn't being done on these a little better. I mean, look how simple it is for us to test it. You know, they could make a bench thing and test every one of them. Okay.